Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited because today I have an old friend of mine on the show. Ryan Hollis is the account executive overseeing the US operations for Qualis Flow, also known as Qflow. And essentially, they are a data platform focused on driving sustainability in commercial real estate. But I'm going to let Ryan explain it because I think it's a really new and innovative platform in the market, and it deserves a more eloquent explanation than what I'm able to provide. So, Ryan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Livia. Thanks for having me on. And your explanation was great. But just to expand on what Qflow is, so Qflow is a data management solution that helps site teams during construction track the materials that are being delivered to site. So basically, every material delivery over the life of a project is tracked in Qflow. It's super simple for site teams to deploy. All they do is just take a photo of the bill of ladings, and Qflow essentially extracts the data from the delivery tickets. We digitize the data. We audit against any project requirements. And at the end of the day, we give our customers a full encompassing view of all the materials delivered to the project, the transport emissions associated with the delivery of those materials, and the embodied carbon of those materials. So our system is used basically for sustainability reporting, for quality management, as well as for financing to be able to reconcile invoices quickly with accurate delivery information.
Amazing, amazing. So it does so many things, but it seems like the purpose is kind of consolidated into wanting property owners and developers to have accurate data about the materials that they're using and the waste also that's created by a project. So, I mean, talk to me about why that's critical. Why does that matter?
So, as you know, we've all seen in construction, what is designed for the project isn't necessarily always what happens on site. So Qflow is the essentially the verification mechanism to say these are the materials that were ordered and the quantities that they were ordered, and to ensure that as the project progresses, each of those materials is tracked, which helps our customers manage risk. Margins are already tight enough in construction, so it helps to prevent rework, and reducing that risk of rework just essentially accounts to better profits, less time on site. And then also on the data management side, as we've seen time and time again, the data is only as good as the information that's provided. So it's garbage in, garbage out. If we're going to be able to leverage AI and data management solutions like Qflow, then we need top quality data. And so that's what Qflow does. It helps the project stay on track in terms of the materials used during the project, the waste associated with the project, and really just give the customers a full view of what their project looks like from the carbon perspective, sustainability, as well as the material perspective.
So ultimately, I mean, this is good for a company's bottom line. It's a good investment. But it's also super helpful for the environment and on the sustainability front, which we're obviously seeing increased interest across companies for sustainability within their real estate portfolios. That's been a big driver for why people tap into CPACE financing. How has that push for decarbonization in the industry impacted demand for Qflow, specifically in the United States? I know you guys started in the UK, you're now in the United States, so talk about that a little bit.
So for Qflow, it's been hugely positive. We for any companies that have specific decarbonization commitments or prioritization on quality, we've seen a big uptick in interest in our customer base for these companies that up until now either haven't tracked this information or they've done it all manually, which is very time consuming. It can lead to inaccuracies and inefficiencies. So what we do is we streamline that data collection process and ensure that the information that they're using for their ESG reporting, as well as their quality of materials, is accurate in real time.
Amazing. And are there certain asset types or sort of ownership profiles? I'm thinking, institutional groups versus private equity, that are more likely to use Qflow, or is it sort of an across the board application?
It's really any company that has a prioritization on quality and sustainability. So some areas where we see Qflow providing the most value, or at least generating the most interest, is in data centers, higher education, hospitals, any commercial projects with green building certifications, or any global companies that have public ESG commitments. Those are ones where Qflow traditionally generates the most interest.
Amazing. And at what point in the development life cycle does it make the most sense for Qflow to be leveraged? Is it better for new construction, retrofits, renovations?
So from our perspective, it's best to get in touch with Qflow and engage with us from the early onset of a project, from design, just to make sure that we can help the project team hit the ground running. It's really at any type of construction though. So we do a lot of work with refit customers. A lot of our projects are new builds. Really, any construction project that has material deliveries, which is any construction project, is where Qflow typically provides the most value.
Amazing. And I mean, the more you talk about Qflow, the more I sort of see the similarities and the alignments between our two companies and our two missions. And I do think that people who are taking advantage of CPACE to fund these sustainable improvements could really benefit from using a platform like Qflow. So if someone were to take advantage of CPACE financing for energy efficient upgrades, how might they also leverage Qflow to sort of ensure they're getting the most out of their investment?
Well, from my understanding, CPACE financing, it often comes with specific requirements to ensure that the upgrades or the projects, they meet the energy efficiency or sustainability goals set forth to get the financing. So Qflow, again, is kind of that verification mechanism to track the materials used during construction to ensure that they align with those requirements. We also help our customers have a clear audit trail, basically for compliance documentation, and to help streamline approval processes to get financing and to make sure that the project moves forward as planned. Another area in which I think there's synchronicity between Qflow and CPACE is that CPACE projects often, they benefit from showing that they've used sustainable source materials. And so Qflow can help monitor where these materials are coming from to ensure that they meet any sort of green building certifications or energy standards as the project continues to be built. And then lastly, once the project is built, by having a full record of all of the materials delivered to, used, and installed in the building, you can have a view available for recycle, repurpose, or reuse down the line, and essentially have a clear, full documentation of all the material purchases, the usage of those materials, and the evidence that the materials were installed as planned to ensure accountability from your customers.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it'd be highly valuable in just ensuring that you're getting what you asked for and then it's going to meet all of the requirements that you have. So what's the first step someone should take if they're interested in implementing Qflow? How early should they begin that process? I know you said as early as possible is best. And what's sort of the first step they should take?
Typically, in the detailed design stage, they would reach out either to myself or to the team and basically have a discussion about the project requirements, any green building certifications or standards they're looking to achieve, have a chat about the project timelines, and then we can help design a solution that meets the needs of the project from day one. So ideally, Qflow is used from the first delivery of the project until practical completion so that the team can use the solution straight away. First delivery comes in, they're able to take a photo of that bill of ladings in the app or forward the PDF if it's an electronic ticket. And then it's just a simple process from there. Each delivery comes in, the information is submitted to Qflow, and then we can help verify and track that the progress of the project stays on track and the materials that are being delivered to the project do in fact meet the whatever the standards or certifications are set out. So again, to start this process as early as possible is what we recommend. Though, there's no set timelines. It's really just if there's a project that has an interest in Qflow or it has sustainability metrics that they're looking to adhere to, then as early as possible is when we recommend to get in touch. That way we can help you along the whole process and basically work together to ensure that the project meets the standards.
Amazing. So, guys, if you feel like your project is a good match for Qflow, or if you fall into one of the buckets that Ryan described, I highly suggest reaching out to him. I will have his contact information at the end of the video so you guys can reach out directly. And as always, if you have questions about CPACE, you can reach out to us. Ryan, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Thanks for having me.